we're back. This is John.
It's Paul.
And it's Eric.
And it's What If Geeks. And we are finally back together again. I don't even know what the fuck we've been talking about lately. But Book of Boba Fett, whatever. But today we're going to do a Geekly Weekly because we're kind of at an impasse on what we can review. We've got to do Peacemaker at some point, if Paul can ever get on that. And have you even started it? No. I finished it. Eric, you finished it, right?
I've only finished the first episode.
Hi guys, welcome to What If Geeks tryouts, where we're gonna let you guys try out two new hosts. They're gonna fire these two assholes. Jesus. All right. Well, eventually we might be able to review Peacemaker. Eric and I are gonna have to get on there and do Ghostbusters Afterlife as well at some point. But yeah, we got a handful of reviews we still got to do. That
Venom 2. We skipped all kinds of ones.
We skipped all kinds of shit. Yeah. So we're just gonna do a Geekly Weekly because we're just trying to catch up with ourselves. So let's see. On that note, what's everybody been up to? I'd ask you what you've been watching, but I know you haven't been watching a fucking thing. Obviously, we all finished Book of Boba Fett because we reviewed Book of Boba Fett. Yep. I just said I finished Peacemaker, and
I finished Suicide Squad, which only came out like last summer.
Hey, there you go.
It took me 3 weeks to watch it because I had to watch it in chunks because I can't watch it for my kids. So it took me 3 weeks. 3 weeks to finish it.
True. Yeah. Oh, that was funny. Yeah. About like a month ago or so, Heather asked me, "Can Noah watch the new Suicide Squad?" And I'm like, well, if you want to explain to him how Harley Quinn's getting fucking wrecked all over a living room, then yeah, go ahead. She was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that scene." I said, "I didn't." So yeah, and I know, like, I've also been watching like Heather and I try to find something to watch together. So we found The Ranch on Netflix. It's the series about cowboy ranchers in Colorado. It's Sam Elliott and Ashton Kutcher and Danny Masterson, right? Elisha Cuthbert, who looks amazing. It's funny because I kind of like, we don't ever talk politics or anything on here, but I like my news and my comedy the same way. I like to get it from both sides. I'll make fun of both sides, So a lot of the shit that we've been watching kind of makes fun of the right, and where here The Ranch, it's like Sam Elliott is definitely like to a fault very right wing, so like, even to the point where like he doesn't believe in, like, he believes all the conspiracy theories and all that shit, but that is, at the end of the day, is just about the three of them, a father and his two grown sons, trying to keep their ranch running, so it's a good show. It's just funny to see jokes coming from the other side once in a while. But yeah, that's what we've been watching. And then I've been reading, still reading old G.I. Joe comics online. That's fun. You guys, what you been into?
Nothing exciting for me, really. I finally finished that Expanse series on Amazon Prime. I know you guys didn't watch it.
No.
I'm trying to prioritize all the stuff I've missed in the last, months or whatever, and like I'm chipping away at it, but it's taking a long time.
Eric and I are just going to give you homework in order of what we want to review. Here's what you have to watch. Yeah, all right. So that's what we've been into. Not much going on with Florida Man. Unless you're watching the news, and then he's moved to Russia, and all hell is breaking loose. Topical humor.
So. I know we're not a political podcast, but something's at a crisis level when your friends on Facebook change their Facebook profiles to like pray for Ukraine, and I'm like, look, half of you can't find Ukraine on a map.
Right.
So when you can point to it to me, then I'll be cool with like you praying for Ukraine. Like, not that we're not praying for Ukraine, right? But it's like that level of Facebook activism of like, oh, I changed my Facebook profile.
Yeah, the world's gonna be a better place because I changed my profile picture.
Right. Oh, that'll stop.
I put another country's flag over my face.
Yeah.
Or I changed my icon black or some shit. Well, whatever
I'm sure,
political stance they're going to take.
I'm sure Putin's looking at, he's got the whatever the new KGB is, like 2 million Americans have changed their Facebook profiles. Oh, I better stop. All right, you guys got it.
The sanctions didn't work, but fuck.
Right.
They're active on Facebook.
Correct.
Time to shut it down. Yeah, we're not gonna get into all that because that's just I was gonna say it's a can of worms that I don't want to open. But I read a meme one time. It was like, everyone keeps talking about opening a can of worms. I opened a can of worms. Not very fucking threatening. And I've never been the same since.
That's hysterical.
That's awesome. He's like, they just gotta lie there. All right, so we'll get into the actual weekly news. We got quite a bit to talk about. Stranger Things dropped their trailer. I know we saw a little bit of that the last time we talked, I think. But they made an announcement that they are going to be ending after season 5, and the Duffer Brothers, right? Yeah, Duffer Brothers said they had always planned for this thing to have a concrete end. And while I like the show a lot, I'm cool with that. Like, if you had a firm story that you were going to tell, and because there's always stuff you can do in that world, but to have like the concrete end for this story makes sense. What do you guys think?
I'm okay with it, especially too. I mean, they're all younger actors. Are you gonna follow them all the way into adulthood or something? I think
Right, yeah,
it makes sense to end it.
It becomes Days of Our Stranger Things.
Or you have to replace the whole cast and it's new people, which some shows have done, but I don't know that it works very well. Yeah, no, I think it makes sense to end it. And you watch, in 10 years, assuming all the actors are still alive, they'll have some comeback thing. There'll be a movie like it.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And all these kids are getting, not only the kid, like I think a lot of the kids are getting parts and other stuff now because they're all getting super famous.
Sure. Finn Wolfhard, Millie Bobby Brown are
right.
the
standouts. Yeah.
Standouts. Actually, I was about to say lead outs, but standouts.
Yeah. And at some point, I'd rather see a show go out while it's still good before it starts to fade, right? Because I don't know that there's ever been a show that keeps the trajectory of being really good for multiple seasons, where you don't get like an entire season that's kind of a throwaway, or 6 of the episodes are sort of mailed in or something like that.
Yeah, where this one has been like good throughout. So go ahead and do what you got to do and then end it. And like I said, you can do other shit within this realm if you wanted to. But season 4 doesn't release until May 27th. So when we do our Geekly Weekly before that, I'm sure we'll bring it back up again. But we'll be watching that. And if we can get Paul to watch it at the same time, maybe we'll review the episodes.
I better get started.
By that time, we'll be reviewing season 1.
I better go watch season 1.
Yeah, there you go. You only got 3 fucking seasons to get to before May. All right. Then they just announced now Netflix Marvel series like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Punisher, Iron Fist. They're all coming to Disney Plus. And Eric looked it up, but only in Canada right now. So
so I don't know what the deal is, but from what I read, because those shows have a TVMA rating here in the US, they don't want to put them on the Disney Plus platform. But Disney does own Hulu, so maybe they'll shove them over there. I mean, they're leaving Netflix. Apparently in Canada and maybe some other international places, they're putting them on Disney Plus, but they don't necessarily have the rating problem.
Right. And, again, not to spoil anything for Paul, but some of those things in there make sense after like Hawkeye and whatever else that, we may have watched,
Oh shit, I'm glad you said something.
Yeah. Because somebody hasn't seen all the movies either.
Oh, that's right.
One billion point something fucking dollars, and Paul's like, fuck you, you ain't getting my money.
They're not getting Paul's $6. God damn it.
It'd be $1 billion and $6.
Oh shit.
Well,
we're $6 short. We're $6 short of $12 short of breaking the entire record of most movies ever. Where's that channel guy?
Is there anybody who hasn't seen this movie? All of a sudden, Disney's calling. Does anybody know who these What If Geek assholes are? Oh my god!
Boss, I heard this podcast, and one of the guys hasn't seen the movie yet. Get him.
Get him. Becomes a Clockwork Orange, and Paul says,
force my eyeballs open.
Oh shit!
All right. Well,
so yeah, so some of that's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, for later, right? Well, sticking with the theme, Charlie Fox did.
Charlie Fox, huh?
What the fuck?
Charlie Fox.
Yeah.
Margot Robbie.
Margie Rabot.
Margie Rabot. Yeah, that was it. God, we haven't pulled that one out in a while.
Charlie Cox. Let's say.
How many times did I yell Cox and not
Cox
get
was it? Yeah. Charlie Cox confirmed in an interview to Radio Times that he will be reprising his role as Daredevil in an upcoming MCU project. He, of course, didn't say what or when, but seems like going right along there with the bringing the Netflix Marvel series into Disney's grasp. They're gonna maybe there'll be more characters. I love a Punisher, although not the Netflix one, but
I liked him.
Yeah, he was
not terrible, but
no. But I like the actor John Bernthal. I liked him. I liked him in Walking Dead. I liked him in Punisher. A couple other things I saw him in, he was good. So overall, I I'm fond of him. He's good. But yeah. So again, Kevin Feige, our Lord and Savior, can do no wrong. I did hear another podcast talking about DC and all the things that we're going to discuss here in a little while. And they were like, those guys just needed Kevin Feige. And I was like, thank you. We've been saying that for 3 fucking years. So everybody's seeing it now. All right. So moving on from Charlie Fox's Cox. And
okay, so
the worst Dr. Seuss book ever.
Yeah. Oh god. Okay. You know how the toys, all these movies have been delayed forever and ever and ever, and the toy deals that they make with Mattel and all these guys still get to release the toys before the movies ever came out because they've got a contract, right? It always works that way, and this pandemic has jacked things up, and there's been things revealed, and it just happened again because the new Lego sets were announced that are coming out, and several of them are for Thor: Love and Thunder. There's a particular one that's like this Viking looking boat thing. And one of the minifigures that's listed on the bottom says King Valkyrie. So I think, I don't remember even which movie it was, but Thor, it was an Endgame. Thor made a comment to Valkyrie, like, why not? You could be.
She said, why are you leaving? They need a king. And he looks at her, he smirks, he says, they already have one. And she's like, you serious? He said, yeah, why not?
So apparently in Thor: Love and Thunder, that will be becoming a reality. Thanks, Lego.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, Lego.
Yeah. And then just one other thing I saw, that Marvel Studios assembled where they do little behind the scenes shit or whatever.
Yeah, I've seen
they just dropped one recently about Eternals, and Feige and the producer Nate Moore and the director Chloe Zhao are talking about the future of the MCU in that and how it will be impacted by the film or whatever. And Feige says the impact the Eternals will have on the MCU will be nothing less than redefining the cinematic universe entirely. Now, of course, nothing really happened in Eternals that would be any kind of universe, but it makes me wonder what the hell they've got planned. I know there was discussion or hints from the director before that there might be an Eternals sequel, but I don't know that that's what he means when he says something like that, right?
Right, true. And they did have their post-credit scenes that Paul hasn't seen. It's going to be an ongoing joke. No, I'm not going to let up. But you had like a post-credit scene where you had like some hints to where they could be going with the rest of the movie or whatever, with a sequel. But if you remember, like before, when they first did the trailer, before we watched the movie, and they were talking about the emergence, obviously I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about, and I was wrong. But at the time, I was like, "Oh, I wonder if they're talking about the emergence of mutants, because Eternals are tied to like the emergence of mutants in some of the comics that they in the lore, right? They dropped celestial seeds, and that made mutants, but then again, it could also not be that. I mean, who the fuck knows? So yeah, I have no idea what the hell this means, but much like Eric said, like he enjoyed the movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked it. It wasn't my favorite Marvel movie by far. In fact, I watched one of my fucking favorite ones a little while ago, a couple months ago. We haven't reviewed it yet, but holy shit, that was good. Spider-Man, but the Eternals was good. I enjoyed it for what it was, but like I think Eric was right. 3 hours was a long fucking time for a movie about a whole bunch of characters that you barely knew, and then there was still so much more they could have put into that movie to kind of flesh it out, to try to, you know what I mean? Like they could have I don't know, maybe broken it up into 2 movies, but then I guess where's your story? So like it kind of made sense for what it was doing, but it also like it expounds into the whole realm of like celestial beings and stuff like that. So you go beyond the only previous mention of a celestial was Nowhere, and it was the head of a celestial that the Guardians go to, right? They kind of glimpse here and there about celestials, but this one kind of talks more about them. So you learn more about the overall higher powers within the MCU. But yeah, I have no idea what just the Eternals movie is going to impact and redefine compared to maybe a sequel,
Yeah, I feel like they got a lot of big actors for it, and in some ways I think you don't do that unless you're going to keep the characters going, but in other ways I also say, well, if you're going to get names that big and there's so many of them, you don't keep it going going for a long time, right? You blew your load.
Pretty much.
But I mean, Kit Harington, Angelina Jolie, Kumail Nanjiani, that's it.
Yeah.
Fox, Selma Hayek, and then not to spoil anything, but then Harry Styles in the mid-credit scene.
Right. Yeah, now see, there was a direct tie-in to the Avengers.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I guess we just gotta wait and see. We'll wait and see. So, yeah. Paul, I would ask you if you had any thoughts, but you haven't watched Eternals, right?
I started it.
Okay, there you go.
4 weeks from now, we can review it.
All right, sweet. All right, so actually, now that I've made this trailers list, we're gonna move on to trailers. Let's actually start from the bottom up. I want to save that last one for the end. So let's start with Moon Knight and work our way up.
So Moon Knight.
Go ahead. Sorry. I actually froze. You froze perfectly.
No, yeah, I just didn't want to talk. The Moon Knight trailer is short. It looks interesting. It definitely has a Batman feel to it. I feel like
Yeah, which is funny because whenever I saw him in the comic books, he always struck me as the Marvel's answer to Batman, but he was just never popular. Like he was always like where we used to joke around that Marvel made their MCU with B-level characters like Iron Man and Thor, or whatever. He's like somewhere in the like the C and D list. Like he's down there. You see him because he's a street level hero, but they've made him more interesting over time. And I haven't really read anything other than if he guest starred in a Spider-Man or something like that, I would see him. So I vaguely know about him, and I know there's like Egyptian background and shit like that that we're going to learn about in the series. But the trailer does do a decent enough job of kind of hooking you into at least like, oh, something's going on here. You know, it's interesting.
Yeah, I feel like he started as the Marvel equivalent of Batman, and then they were like, we're gonna get sued, but we got to do, take this in a different direction and do more. So they did the Egyptian stuff. I think for a minute it was like J. Jonah Jameson's kid, who had gone to space, and something happened there, and then I think they add the mental illness. Like
he was Werewolf by Night or some shit like that. He became a werewolf or some shit like that.
Okay, but I feel like he was in that.
He was in the mix there, yeah.
Yeah. And then they added the, start the sort of crazy stuff, just to give the character a little bit more flair.
Yeah, the schizophrenic, multiple personality kind of, yeah. And they really play that up in the trailer, which is cool. Like, like he's like, why are you calling me Steven or whatever the fuck, or why'd you call me Mark? Because his real name is Mark Spector. And supposedly he gets some abilities from an Egyptian god and becomes a street level hero, whatever. The one thing that I thought was cool, and I don't know if this ever happens in the comic at all, but when you see there's a glimpse of, I guess, when he starts to be able to control his abilities and he gets the suit to come to him, like how it wraps around him like mummy bandages. I was like, that was a really cool effect. Like it wasn't just like he's putting on a suit. Like this thing has some mystical properties and it wraps around him like bandages in that one scene. I was like, okay, all right, that was a nice effect. I like that. So, and I like Oscar Isaac too. He's good. So we'll see. I don't know. Eric, you gonna watch it on launch?
Probably.
Yeah. And that's one of the ones that comes out next month, right? Yeah. The end of that next month, but yeah. All right. Then we saw a trailer that I didn't know I wanted. Or a trailer for a remake I didn't know I wanted until I saw the fucking trailer. They're doing a reboot of Firestarter, the movie about the Stephen King book about the little girl Charlie who can pyrokinetic or whatever. Made, I think it was back in the early 80s, right? Starred Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore, yeah.
Yeah, and that was a fun movie. I liked it back then. It was one of my favorite movies back in the day because I like Stephen King. But this one looks good. It looks, I mean, it's like one of those, oh yeah, that's a perfect movie to make now because of the special effects that we have. The effects in this trailer are good.
Yeah.
And it looks like it ties into the book pretty well. So what'd you guys think?
Yeah, I'll watch it.
I'm split because we're in this place where there's no new ideas. And this is certainly an example, right? Because we're just going to reboot an old idea, but it feels like they've improved on it a little bit, and definitely with the kind of CGI and stuff we can do now, it looks way cooler. Like you can just see as the scene where she's in the school bathroom and like everything gets hot, and you see that sort of waves in the air. You see when it's hot outside, yeah, like that looks really cool.
Yeah. So, Eric, what about you?
Yeah, I feel like it's free game at this point too. I mean that movie is 35 years old. I feel like at some point there's a license to redo it just because it's just couldn't have been done as well.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
I'll probably get punished for this, but I'm also not a Drew Barrymore fan, so be happy to see somebody else do it.
Yeah, the little girl in it looks like she's good. All right, yeah. So I'll probably check it out. I know I'll check it out. I just don't know when. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre. One, we'll talk about the trailer.
Yeah, right.
Again, like, all right, when they dropped Halloween, and you realize that it's like a direct sequel to the first Halloween movie with Jamie Lee Curtis and everything, right? I was excited for it. I was like, oh wow, this looks like it's going to be good, and I really liked that movie. The second one, for the most part, I liked. I had a few misgivings about some of the actors or whatever, but I liked it overall. This trailer drops, and I was like, oh sweet, because again, I like my classic horror movies, right? They're going back to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then when I watched this thing, I'm like, they literally just ripped off the formula for Halloween, and they're forgetting everything that happened as down to they go find the girl that survived, and she's been waiting for this. I'm like, it's the same exact fucking movie, but it's got Leatherface instead. So I'm like, that's when they lost me. The the chainsaw, the whole thing. Like, I loved a lot of the different. I didn't like every Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I liked a few of them. Right, I loved the first one. There's a couple of them in there that were kind of cheesy, but I thought they were funny and they were fun, whatever. This one, in the very beginning, they had me for the first minute of the trailer. I was like, sweet. And then when I caught on to what the fucking story was, I was like, I'm out. I'm done. I was like, I don't want this. What about you guys?
When they showed the old lady, the older lady who's been waiting, right, where we're doing exactly what you talked about. We're doing the direct sequel to the first one. She's been waiting for this. She's geared up. Like, when we just ripped that off, I was like, oof, what are we doing? It seems like the funniest scene, right? He's in the back of the little bus, fires up the chainsaw, and everyone just pulls out their phones. And the one guy's like, dude, you'll be canceled, bro. And he just gets the chainsaw to the gut. Like,
everybody, yeah.
It's probably the best part of this movie, because it's like all of it's been done before.
Yeah. Eric?
I don't want to say that the trailer is awful or anything. If you think about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I mean, beyond the first one, which had sort of this uniqueness to it, I guess, because it was something different. Some of the movies in the whatever you want to call it, the franchise, are just silly. They're quirky. It's not even really
right
scary or anything anymore. But I mean, the trailer looks like they were trying to do something, but not super exciting. But I would have watched it until I saw the fucking reviews online, and I'm like, oh my god, this thing is getting raked over the fucking coals by everybody.
That's the next part I was going to talk about. This thing is already, like, within a day of it coming out on Netflix. So we're a little bit late as far as us reviewing the trailer. It's already been hung up on a meat hook quicker than Leatherface could do you. It's like, it's done. Everybody hates.
I give you a sampling here of how bad this is. So Google reviews, there's more 1-star reviews than there are all the others combined.
When did it come out?
It came out.
It came out on Netflix. Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes, 32% critic. Okay, that happens sometimes. 31% audience score. IMDb has a 4.9 out of 10. And then on Metacritic, it's 33 out of 100 for the Metascore and 4.1 out of 10 for the user. No one likes this fucking movie. Like, no one.
Oh.
And the reviews are just, some of them are fucking hilarious, man. I mean, they are just really, really bashing this movie.
Yeah, so I quickly, even before the reviews came out, but then after the reviews just confirmed what my decision was. But I had already decided before the reviews came out that I wasn't going to watch this movie unless we decided we were going to do another. Why the fuck did they make this? And we have plenty of other really horrible movies to get through before we get to this. We've still got Birdemic too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, I won't be watching this movie.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I will late at night. I usually watch something at night as background noise, so maybe I'll do that. But I mean, there's actually a lot of similarities in a lot of the reviews, though, like the negative reviews,
Right.
and what people are saying, which is like, this isn't a scare anymore. It was just purely like gore. There was nothing scary. Leatherface isn't scary. One of my favorites from I was looking at earlier was, if the original is grade A beef, then this one's a rancid veggie burger. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, really setting a low bar there. But yeah, and the people just saying like the story is stupid, it doesn't make any sense. There's a bunch of subplots and characters, but like nothing actually happens, and it's hard to keep it together.
Yeah. Well, all right. So one of us may watch this.
and it's short too. It's only an
really?
hour only an hour and 15 minutes or something. It's like one of the shortest movies they've made.
Oh, okay. Well, at least you're not going to suffer too long. But on this note of remaking horror movies, or at least like rebooting old franchises, did you see they announced they're doing Jeepers Creepers again?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I didn't read a whole bunch. I don't know when or what. I just saw like a quick little poster of like his face, and it was like coming soon or some shit like that. And people were talking about Jeepers Creepers, either as a sequel or a reboot quill or whatever the fuck it's gonna be. But they're bringing that one back too. Yeah, requel. They're bringing something back there. I don't know what they're doing, but Jeepers Creepers is coming back too. So, which again, it was one of those two that I was like, it was fun, it was weird, but it wasn't like up there with Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger and shit. So, excuse me. All right, moving on to something better, I hope. Jurassic World Dominion dropped a full trailer.
So
damn, this looks good.
It does. So the special effects stuff have come such a long way on this, and the general plot seems interesting, I guess. But I do feel like it's starting to become a little like formulaic with the way that, I mean, like the motorcycle chase scene through the through the alleyway. I'm like, you guys are borrowing a lot of things that you've already fucked with, the Dilophosaurus in somebody's face, and maybe that's just a callback to the original, but
it could be.
I just saw a lot of things like, oh, I've kind of seen this before in a Jurassic Park movie.
Well, the key for me anyway, and this goes back to when they did the Battle at Rock Ridge that we reviewed, where the Triceratops and the T-Rex and everybody come all out in the campground. For me, the fun part of this is that the dinosaurs are now not just confined to the park. They're all over the place. And that's what I wanted the original Jurassic Park to eventually become. And it's taken us 25, 30 fucking years, but we finally got there. Remember I said there was that card set that I used to collect from the Ice Cream Man, Dinosaurs Attack? It was kind of similar to this, where it was like dinosaurs coming through a portal, and they're like all over the place, all over the world. And this is like little scenes about things that happen with them in the world, shit like that. But that's what I like about this. So, I mean, is it going to be great? Who knows? So far, I've enjoyed the last two that they've done. And again, I'll watch Bryce Dallas Howard do anything. So, whatever. And they've got most of the original cast from the Park movies back too.
Yeah.
You see them at the end of the trailer. Spoiler alert. So yeah.
So I haven't seen a Jurassic Park movie in like the last two. So here's what I don't understand watching the trailer. If humans and dinosaurs can't exist, why aren't we just killing them?
I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah.
Like, because Jeff Goldblum says in the thing, like, we don't just have dominion over this thing. We're submissive to it. Like, pretty sure we aren't. Like, why don't we just hunt them?
We have tanks.
Right. Like, what are we doing? Why aren't we shooting them?
Because there's a giant Russian T-Rex with his head. I will use the bomb.
Right.
I know. Sorry, no politics. But it's fucking funny. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they're not just killing them all. That part's stupid. That's that peace and love bullshit. Watch. That's how you get your ass eaten by a fucking stegosaurus or some shit.
Right.
Or whatever's carnivore, velociraptor.
Well, and I hadn't really thought about it, but they apparently become increasingly bold and careless about what they're doing too, right? Bigger dinosaurs, flying dinosaurs. Like, we didn't learn any lessons.
No, not a damn thing.
The first park was fucking dangerous, but not dangerous enough.
No, let's go bigger. Start genetically splicing other shit together. Let's see what happens. All right. So, final trailer we need to speak about dropped during the Super Bowl. And it's the full trailer for Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse of Madness. Now, I guess the one spoiler alert I can briefly give Paul here is there is a full-blown trailer at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home for this. If you've barely glanced at any kind of geek news, you probably know half of the damn movie anyway by now. So there is a trailer, which was cool because it's kind of like, we used to talk about the reason they're called trailers is they used to come at the end of the movie. And it was like a full-blown fucking Doctor Strange trailer. But it was kind of short. It was like a minute and a half, something like that. This was like, boom. It had like a couple of scenes from there, and then they just compounded on that. There is so much shit that happens in this fucking trailer. So I guess, who wants to start talking about it? Eric, go ahead.
Okay.
or whatever. Paul, go ahead.
No, it's fine. I do it. So I guess you start off with Strange in some sort of dream thing, right? He's dreaming about the destroyed Sanctum Sanctorium.
Yeah, he says every night the nightmare comes or something like that.
He said every night I have the same dream. Then he wakes up and he says, and then the nightmare begins.
Yes.
So it's like the real world is the nightmare, but they're definitely starting that off by making it seem like something's going on in his mind that might be tied back to everything that we've already seen happen.
Spoiler alert for a movie Paul hasn't seen.
He also looks weird in the dream. He has like white streaks in his hair or whatever.
Yes, and there's something I was going to say in here. One thing, like when he wakes up in the bed, if you look, you got to pause it and look around him. There's like medical equipment, medical journals, shit like that, and his hands aren't scarred. So I'm wondering if that's another multiverse Strange who's actually still a doctor. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because they're going full blown multiverse now. Like, what Paul does know of Spider-Man is those other villains were coming from different universes, right? So there was a whole thing with the multiverse cracking open. This is going to expound on all of that shit, right? And that's all I can say without spoiling anything. What happens in that movie sets this up. So I'm wondering if that's, and again, you'd have to pause it and look at him. And it could be nothing. It could be nothing. Because there's also a shot in an international trailer of a Strange in his Sorcerer Supreme. He's a Defender Strange, they call him. And I guess he's like from the Defenders comic book. He's got the streaks in his hair still, but he's in a different Sorcerer Supreme outfit with no cape, and he's performing magic. but they call him Defender Strange, and I'm wondering if he is from like the Defenders line of comics.
I'm looking at the one in the dream sequence and the Defender Strange from the comics. They're wearing the same outfit.
Yes.
And he's got white streaks in his hair.
Yeah. Yes. And like I said, he was in the international trailer because there's also something else that happens in the international trailer that I'll save. But
so that means there's
Strange in there, but this, so that's
that's at least three. That's at least three more Stranges beyond the original, because that's Defender Strange, the Sinister Strange that we'll see at the end of this, and then the zombie Doctor Strange thing.
Right.
With the hand all fucked up.
Yeah, and then you have our Doctor Strange. But then again, if that one that wakes up is actually a medical doctor, just because there is a shot in this trailer where you see Rachel McAdams, what the fuck's her character's name? What the hell is his girlfriend that he's chasing after all the time?
Christine Palmer.
Christine Palmer, yeah. You see her in a wedding gown. So unless maybe that Doctor Strange is like an actual doctor who's getting ready to marry her and gets pulled into who the fuck knows? There could be like 10 Doctor Stranges in this damn thing by the time we get done. But
yeah, that's true. I was wondering if they would even show them all to you.
Yeah, we won't get in. We won't dive that deep into it. Sorry, but it was just I thought it was interesting, and I saw somebody else comment on it on YouTube. And I was like, huh, yeah, I saw that too. It was kind of like medical equipment, so it looked interesting. So
okay.
He does Dream.
Yeah, and then I think it cuts next to actually here I got it open over here. Cuts next to America Chavez, like face to face with some weird ass monster creature I don't recognize.
Yeah, at first I thought it was Dormammu, but it doesn't look like him because it's like, what if that's because a lot of the magic that Strange uses, at least in the comics, he uses the Crimson Bands of Satorak, which gives Juggernaut his power. What if that's actually Satorak, the demon, that gives him the power? Because it seems like he's using red magic around there at some point. I don't know. I'm just totally spitballing. It's Mephisto.
I saw Mephisto in there.
See?
Well,
you know, my fucking mind.
Actually, in the next scene on this, they do show him using that magic that's red colored, unlike the normal stuff he's doing, right? Because it's in the scene where Wong's talking to him, saying, you know, you can't control everything or whatever, and he's saying, I did what I had to, and at that moment, he's got like this crazy like red ball magic rotating around him, and he's grabbing shit, and then he pounds it all into the ground.
At that point, I
was
into
a box.
I was wondering if that was something to do with the Satorak magic, or if it was something to do with the magic that Wanda uses, because her magic is red too. So
that's true.
Yeah, and the whole, I did what I had to do to save our universe. Is he talking about what happened in Spider-Man No Way Home, or is he talking about something that happens after that in this movie? Who the fuck knows?
So I feel like this, if it was Spider-Man No Way Home, the reference would be weird and it wouldn't quite make sense because there wasn't a. Never mind. I don't want to crush anything for Paul.
I don't want to ruin anything for Paul. The only thing I will say is there
wasn't a world-saving reason behind it. Is all I'm going to get at.
But I mean, yes, there was the whole like overall multiverse thing. So, Paul, take your headphones out a second. The end of the fucking movie when he does the whole spell to prevent the multiverse from coming through.
Yeah.
Because they were fucking with the multiverse, it cracked everything open and different realities were coming through. Those are all different universes coming through. So
you're saying what he did at the end was the world saving.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And it probably didn't work 100%.
I got you. Okay.
How do we save the Paul? We're good. Okay.
All right. All right. Well, we're good
Damn.
anyway. So we
Hey,
get
so when
some
does Spider-Man No Way Home stream so we can review this thing? Go ahead.
So we get some quick cuts of some crazy ass monster going through a city. Some one-eyed tentacle monster or something, which was
Yeah, which
reminiscent
looks
of.
similar to the What Ifs.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was reminiscent of one of the characters from the What If. I gotta sneeze. Sorry. Yeah, definitely was though. Definitely reminiscent of that. And then I don't know what happens next because I lost my window.
Well, when they're fighting, the thing throws a bus at Strange, and he cuts it in half with that magic. It was a really cool effect. And America Chavez is standing behind him with her denim jacket with the American stars and everything on it. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, I know what's next. Wanda's what's next.
Yes, Wanda.
You get to see Wanda in a much more true to comic sort of outfit, not like they did in WandaVision. Yeah, and she's meditating or whatever, and Doctor Strange goes to talk to her. It's a different scene, I guess, technically, but he goes to talk to her and ask her what she knows about the multiverse, and she says, "Well,
it a different scene, though, or is it just on the astral plane?"
Oh, yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Remember what we're fucking with here.
Yeah, but anyway, she tells him, it's Viz had his thoughts on it. He thought it was dangerous. And then it cuts to yet another scene where Doctor Strange said he's right, but you see this huge cloud. You have what the hell's the thing's name? The Green Minotaur. That was like his sort of assistant or sidekick or whatever in the comics for a while.
Yeah, because I thought that was Bova on Mount Wundagore at first, but it wasn't, because they're at the Taj, whatever the hell they trained at.
Rentra is his name.
Yeah, because when you see it from behind, I thought it was Bova, which would be the cow-human hybrid that raised Wanda and Pietro in the comics, and it's not. It's at where the Mystic place that Strange trained at. That you keep saying what it is, and I keep forgetting. Ramataj.
The training place is Kamartaj.
Yeah, Ramataj, Ramalama Ding Dong.
Ramadan, whatever. So then we get another. This thing cuts so much. It's like every piece of this trailer is like 2-3 seconds, and then it like jumps.
Yeah, they just glue everything together like quickly. They do something there when they're talking, because it's going to come up again later. When they're talking in this field. They're walking as she's telling him, well, Viz had his theories about it, and there's these little, like, I don't know, white lotus trees or white, like the flowers on the trees are all white, and they show up again later. And so I wanted to pinpoint that part because it's all going to connect together when we see the movie. But go ahead, they do what now?
We get cut to another scene with Mordo.
Yeah.
He's telling Strange, basically he's desecrated reality and he's got to answer for it, or he's going to be punished for it. And then we get yet another cut. This time
you have to answer for your actions. And now this is the part that gets interesting, really interesting. Because
so it shows him being cuffed, and then it shows him walking up a stairway with what looks like Tony Stark's Iron Legion drones.
Ultron bots?
They look like Ultrons.
Yeah.
They look like Ultrons. And then it also cuts to a person who's like on fire flying at America Chavez, right? Because like you said, they cut fast and they cut back to each other. So as he's walking up the steps in this citadel with these Ultron bot looking things, this person that in the very beginning, when I first saw this thing, I was like, is that the fucking Human Torch? And then when I looked at the pictures Eric sent, I'm like, no, his hands are blue, right? So, but he's moving so fast, and he's engulfed in like orange flame, attacking America Chavez. She's using her power to stop him or her, right? So, has anybody looked into any kind of theories on who that person is?
No.
All right. Theories are, well, one, mine was Human Torch. I'm throwing that out the window. Maybe.
I don't know, the blue glow on the hands is weird.
Yeah, that's the reason I'm throwing it out the window. The second theory is it's Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, but because it looks just like when she goes like kind of into her binary mode where she like really powers up. But then somebody said, what if it's like Monica Rambeau?
Yeah, I was actually just gonna say that.
Or her mother from another universe. Because remember, within the different universes, they all of them had different powers, right? And then the last thing, somebody paused it, and I don't know if it was photoshopped, because you can't believe the fucking internet for a damn thing. But the pause had it kind of like they tried to zoom in on the face, and the face looked male. And the way the costume was kind of lit, they put it next to a comic book picture of Tony Stark in his Superior Iron Man suit, where it was like all silver, and he has like these glowing spots on his suit, but his face is exposed. And when they showed the face, you can kind of make out like a Tony Stark goatee type of thing, right? And somebody said, there's a heavy rumor that they went back and got the first guy they were talking to play Tony Stark to come in and cameo. You guys know who that was?
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. Yeah. I'm like, just like as a little fan nod, right? And I went, well, could be. Any of these things are plausible because you're fucking with the multiverse now, right? So jump back to Strange coming into the Citadel with these robots, right? They lead him in, and there's statues and shit. And when they walk him in, there's like a ledge in front of him, like a second floor kind of thing, that he's walking into like a courtroom, and there's chairs there, and there's a couple of people sitting down already, and there's one walking in who looks like he's got a cape on or something, right? Everyone's trying to piece all that shit together. Like the guy on the far left kind of looks like he might be shaped like Mr. Fantastic, whatever. But the thing I pulled from this was, well, all right, let's go beyond this, and then I'll come back to this scene. There are 6 chairs there, and a couple of them are already occupied, and there's somebody walking in. And then he stands there, and you get a shot from above at him. As the shot's panning back to see this person, you hear, "We should tell him the truth." And it pans back to a very fuzzy, because it's right on top of the camera, but a bald Caucasian head, right? And if that's not Patrick Stewart's voice, I will eat my fucking microphone. Okay,
It's definitely him.
it's
That
him,
thing.
right?
What was that thing you sent earlier? You'd sent a little clip earlier or something.
Oh yeah,
It
there was
like,
a clip. It was an interview with Patrick Stewart about probably like they were talking about Picard and whatever else, and they said, "Okay, listen, I have to ask you because it's on everybody's mind. Are you in Doctor Strange?" And he goes, "Who's Doctor Strange?" And then it cuts to like Kung Fu Panda, where like the bad guy is like, it says in written letters, it says Andrew Garfield, finally an enemy worthy of my. And I'm like, yeah, you think come on, he's not gonna say he's in it. They're all saying they're not in this, just like they did with Spider-Man. So that's fucking Patrick Stewart.
Yeah,
So
there's no doubt in my mind that's Patrick Stewart. I'm going to throw a theory out, John, that we'll forget by the time we watch this. But I think that crazy glowing person, the on fire person with the blue hands
Uh-huh.
is going to be Monica Rambeau, but from some other universe where she became the first Captain Marvel.
I wouldn't doubt it, but because I was throwing theories out there with the blue hands and everything and trying to like look at the head. At one shot, the head looked like it had a helmet on. I was like, is that Nova? Quasar? You know, it could be any one of these people, right? It could be anybody. But the Iron Man theory is interesting to me because if you take the fact that we know this is Patrick Stewart as Professor X, right? So they're going to show you the X-Men, or at least they're going to discuss it. Something's going to happen in here where Professor X is in here. The 6 chairs and all that shit there, that's the Illuminati. They're talking about the Illuminati, who in the comic books were high profile characters who worked in the background, you know, like our government, and and kind of like squash shit. They handle shit.
Strange. It was Reed Richards. It was Tony Stark. It was Namor. It was
Professor X.
Professor X.
Doctor Doom was on it at one point.
Yeah.
Captain America was on there at one point. It's been a rotating cast, but it started with Professor X, Strange, Reed Richards, Iron Man, and I think Namor. Yeah. So when they looked at the guy on all the way to the left, they were like, he looks kind of skinny, like he could be wearing a suit. Is that Reed Richards? Are we getting John Krasinski as Reed Richards? Like, everybody's losing their minds about theories about this shit right now. But I am fully convinced that they're doing the Illuminati and something, I don't know what, because we've discussed the whole thing with Wanda's magic and everything. Maybe they do like a reverse House of M, where instead of she gets rid of the mutants, she kickstarts them. What if that whole, we should tell him the truth, something happened where the mutants were in our world and everybody forgot them? Because they've done that kind of shit before in the comics. And you know what I mean? Like they're just like, they're wiped out of memory, or I don't fucking know. But if it's got the Illuminati involved, it gets really fucking interesting. I don't think they're just coming in from a separate universe. I think something bigger is going to happen here. Moving on.
Keep going. I gotta go.
Along.
Okay.
So what else? What else are we missing in this? There is another part where Wanda is talking to Strange, and she says to him, "You break the rules and become the hero. I break the rules, and what does she say? I become a villain, or become the enemy."
Villain. I become the enemy. And then it cuts to something else, and then it goes back to her. And I love Elizabeth Olsen. I think she's amazing in this role. The way she delivers that next line, where she just kind of looks off to the side and she's like, that doesn't seem fair. I'm like, oh, they're doing villain Wanda. Like she's gonna.
Well, so
Then again, I don't know.
And then they show her WandaVision character in one of the houses they were in.
Yeah,
like looking down at her. Yeah, looking down at her and like, I don't know, holding her chin up or something. It's hard to tell what she's doing, but it's interesting. I hadn't put much thought into the name of this movie until just now, because I'm going back again and thinking about Wanda's Madness, House of M, mutants becoming the dominant force. Maybe they're somehow working all that. I mean, they hinted towards House of M at several different points during WandaVision without ever. I mean, some of the themes are borrowed from it. Don't get me wrong, but without ever going down like that path fully. And now I feel like they're throwing additional hints in here, like calling this the multiverse of madness, having Wanda be pretty much a fucking secret until until the Super Bowl trailer.
Yeah. Well,
I
and
just
again, like that whole, like I said, that whole delivery looks like they're toying with her sanity, right? As far as like, she's on edge because of everything that happened in WandaVision,
mm,
and she's at a breaking point. And I think the breaking point is going to come with her kids. Now, the flip side of that too is there's a scene shortly after that where it looks like she's breaking into um the Citadel that Strange is at, and she could be coming to save him and America Chavez, or she could be a full blown enemy at that point. You can't tell anymore because like
mm.
she's like covered, she's bleeding from her head. She's like it zooms in on her eye. She does not look like she's sane anymore. So I don't know what's going on there, but they do show a brief thing where there are like outside of the Citadel, there are two looks like um pods floating in space. Could that be where they're holding Doctor Strange and America Chavez, or could that be where the Illuminati are holding her kids? And that's what sends her over the edge.
They do have to do something with their kids if they're going to carry on with this new Avengers business.
Yeah, the Young Avengers got to come about. They've been building up to it, and the end of WandaVision, she clearly hears them calling out to her. So I don't know, dude. Oh, so what else happens in this trailer? I forget.
I think we're actually almost to the end of it. There's some more fight scenes where you get to see Wong fighting the tentacled one-eyed monster thing in the city. You already mentioned the zoom in
Wanda.
on Wanda's eye, and then when they zoom in on her eye, it ends up in like a completely weird ass different world where it seems like a I don't know, some weird spirit shit is going on. There's all these like black spirit things flying around.
Right. And then Wong yells out the
Strange, yeah. And then you see, I couldn't actually tell, but is it a multi-armed Strange that's
Okay.
like floating in midair?
Yeah, but it also looks like Zombie Strange.
Yes, it does.
It looks like Zombie Strange, and that's the other thing I wanted to say. In the international trailer, there is a shot of what at first I took to be Steve Rogers, but then when you watch it again, I think it's Doctor Strange. And there's a shot of Wanda. They both look like the zombified versions.
Mhm.
I don't know if they're gonna touch on the zombie verse from What If. I don't see why they wouldn't. They might as well. But in the international trailer, there are two quick little shots of a zombie Strange or somebody else, and then a zombie Wanda, real quick, like as they're doing shit. So, and we know that all that's still out there from the What If series. There's something else to do, like what I was mentioning before with the trees in Wanda's little sanctuary. They show up again in one of Strange's visions when he looks at another version of the Sanctum Sanctorum, and it's got like the giant statue of him in front of it. Those trees are there too. Like, so I don't know if it's her messing with his head or if it's just another reality or what it is, but those same exact flowered trees are there. So it's kind of like, again, all this shit's somehow connected. I don't know how, but yeah, but then what looks like a zombie Strange floats up with all these demon things, and he's got the 8-arm thing that kind of like what he does in Infinity War fighting Thanos when his arms all come out and does that whole thing. And then he yells Strange, and that's pretty much the end of the trailer. There's something else key in this trailer. Oh, okay. All right. Is there anything else that you guys can think of out of this trailer? Because there's like one other thing in there, and then I want to get something else.
No, go ahead.
Do it.
All right. There's the one shot of him and America Chavez, like he's got her, he's holding her, like he's trying to protect her as they're falling next to a mountain, right? Remember that shot?
And they're
Two of them
breaking into little
breaking
squares.
up into little block squares. That is right out of a House of M cover of Wanda that she's breaking up like that, right? But as they fall, again, if you freeze frame it, America's knee hits like part of the mountain and the mountain breaks, and there is clearly an animated traffic cone. Like, are they going into the fucking animated verse too? Like, there's a cartoon traffic cone, like an orange and white traffic cone overturned in like the break in reality, because you know her power is to jump realities. It's right there. It's like bloop, and then they go tumbling down. I'm like, if they go into a fucking animated one too, this movie's gonna be fucking amazing. Like, it's gonna be fucking ridiculous. So that's definitely in the trailer. The only other thing I wanted to talk about before we jump into the other shit is, have you guys heard any of the discussion about the movie poster? So the movie poster's got it's changed like 3 different times. Like they've done all kinds of different things. But the last one to come out, it shows Doctor Strange, into the multiverse of madness, whatever, and it looks like the Sanctum main glass is shattering, right? And in the glass is all reflections of like him, Wanda, America Chavez, right? All that shit, Wong, in the big shards. But if you look in the little shards, there's one that shows much more clearly than the other rumor what looks like a reflection of Captain Carter's shield. So everyone thinks that Haley Atwell is going to come back and do the live action version of Captain Carter from the What If cartoon. That's in there. And then up toward the left somewhere, and I've seen it and I kind of get what people are talking about, but I'm also thinking it might just be like, seeing Jesus in the toast. It looks like Deadpool is in one of the shards, and it's like one of the, if you Google Deadpool, there's that one image of him where he's like this, like the movie Deadpool. And if you take that and you look at that shard of glass, it's very faint, but it looks like it's that same look with the eyes and everything. And I was like, oh fuck, if Deadpool's in this movie, we're done. So now I've switched from Mephisto, who Paul has actually seen in this trailer. Now I'm going, my
Deadpool.
My betting money is going to be on Deadpool. I'm 50-50. I got Mephisto wrong in WandaVision. I got Kingpin right in Hawkeye. I'm going Deadpool in this one. I think he's showing up. I don't know. I don't think he's going to do anything.
It would be cool.
I don't think he's going to do anything, but I think he's going to be in here. Because the other rumor, the last rumor that I heard was that they have not confirmed, but sorry. The leak is Wolverine is in this movie, but it's not Hugh Jackman. I don't know who it's going to be, but if he's there, cool. Because, if you're going to touch on the X-Men, you can't just have Patrick Stewart. You got to have somebody else in there. So we'll see. All I know is I'm fucking excited for this movie, and May can't come quick enough. This movie better release before the end of the world. All right. So let's move on. Box office. My mouse ain't working. There it goes.
Uncharted. That's adaptation of this video game from, I think it was from 2007, but there's been a few in the series. It's about like a treasure hunter sort of story, action adventure story thing. So Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg star in it. It had a 44 million opening weekend, which was this just past weekend. It's now at 58 million domestic, 144 million worldwide. When I first read about this before the release, there's a lot of trash talking about, another game movie, and it's going to flop, especially for a game that a lot of people probably haven't played. And it actually seems to be doing well. It's beating projections. So
yeah, I think it's doing all right. And like, I like Tom Holland. I honestly never played the game. I watched plenty of reviews on the game. I basically know what the game is all about. Like you said, treasure hunting, whatever. It's a very, very popular game. The thing I like about this, though, is that while they got Tom Holland to come in and play Nathan Drake, way back when they were talking about, oh, if you fan casted an Uncharted movie, Mark Wahlberg was actually the one they wanted to play Nathan Drake back a few years back. And
it's too old now.
Older, so yeah, but he's still in it. So I was like, that's a little nod to the fans. That's cool. And the trailer looks good. I mean,
yeah.
I won't run out to the theater to see it. I mean, I obviously haven't, but I'll give it a watch when it comes to streaming. Paul, any interest?
I got so many other things to watch. Like, I'm not getting.
He's making no fucking commitments, John.
Right. We're not getting to this.
Yeah. No. Paul, do you have any interest in this at all outside of the homework that Eric and I are about to pile on top of you?
No.
Okay, good. Yeah, all right. So moving on. Death on the Nile, like my notes say, not that we care. But that's up there. $12.8 million opening, came out on the 11th. 18 million domestic, 20.9 million international. I mean, it's doing okay for itself. I don't know what the fuck it costs to make, but basically this is just a Murder on the Orient Express, but on a boat or some shit. I don't know, but it's got Gal Gadot, so that's really the only reason I would even look at it. Like I joked before we started recording, like, because you were like, what the fuck is Death on the Nile? I said it was a movie that was coming out, but it had Army Hammer in it until he started trying to eat people or some shit. I don't know.
He co-stars with Gal Gadot. He was just misunderstood.
Yeah.
90 million budget.
Oh. Well, they're not near that. All right. Good. Fuck him. Whatever.
Uncharted was 120 million budget, so it's doing just fine.
It's doing good. And then, because everything old is new again, or well, old and broken again, Jackass Forever is third in the box office. This is at least as of last week. Sorry, I didn't update anything. $23 million opening. It came out on the 4th of February. 40.8 million domestic, 10.2 million international. From what I've heard, if you like all the Jackass shit, you're gonna like it. But how long are they gonna beat the fuck out of each other?
Yeah, you look at every other movie on here, right? So like Uncharted has 58 domestic, 144 worldwide. Death on the Nile, right? 18 domestic, 20 international. And then Jackass has 40 domestic and 10 international. Like, that just doesn't play in the rest of the world. Like, a bunch of dudes doing dumb stuff is a uniquely American thing. And yeah. Right, shooting bottle rockets out of your ass and whatever else they've done over the years. Stuff
because we are steadily, not slowly any longer, but steadily becoming Idiocracy. I had no idea that was a fucking documentary. But
right, so like other countries, like we're not going to go see that.
Well, you want to talk about success though. I mean, these guys spend for the first one like $50,000 to make a fucking movie, and they make millions off it. This one had a just under $10 million budget, and they're already 40 million in the box office. So
right,
it's been a good run for those guys. Like Johnny Knoxville, Steve-O, we made like those guys. Bam, all those guys, like it was a good run for them.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say
I love that stuff back in the day.
Yeah, like I wasn't the greatest Jackass fan where I was watching it every week or whatever, but I liked it. It was fun, and when the movies started coming out, I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
At this point, like I know I haven't seen this one yet. I will watch it just because it's Jackass, and at some point you just got to laugh at stupidity. I do know that from what I've heard, it's all the old crew plus they have some younger guys, and they even say in there like, "No, we're passing this shit on. Like we're too old for this shit." But hey, it's done well for itself. So go America.
Yes. I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, Johnny Knoxville is in his 50s now.
He's
I
50.
think
Yeah.
he's
No,
50.
he said he can't.
Steve-O's only a couple years younger than him, so
Mhm.
Yeah.
they are getting old.
Yeah, they're done. But I'll watch it. And I won't say we'll review it because it's not in our wheelhouse, but I'll watch it. And then bringing it up the rear, not that it needs to, because Jesus. Spider-Man No Way Home. So far, as of last week, the total was 1.8 billion. I have an M in there too, so it has 1.8 billion million.
Million.
I feel like I should Dr. Evil that shit. $1 trillion. $1.8 billion. 762 domestic. 1 billion international. I mean, this movie just and all right, considering it's the third movie in a trilogy for the MCU, that's amazing. Then you throw on top of it COVID and the pandemic and all this other shit and everything else we've been talking about with these movies. Like, whoa, well, it's doing well considering. And then Spider-Man comes over and it's like, hold my beer, watch this shit. And damn. So
yeah, what would it have done if everything was normal and nothing ever happened? Could it have beat Endgame in the box office? I mean,
right? Is it third or fourth now all time? Like it's up there. It beat Avatar.
I haven't looked at a few weeks.
Which
It
again,
was third.
got, like MCU or Disney owns like the top 3 or 4 spots in the all-time box office. Like it's stupid.
Had it not been a pandemic and everybody was going,
had it not been a pandemic and everybody was going back and forth to the theater, it would have at least done 1.8 billion and $12, and we would have reviewed it by now. But sorry, Paul.
I was looking for here it is. I was looking for the all-time list. Top lifetime gross. It is number 3.
Told you.
Yeah, right behind Endgame, which is right behind. I don't want to talk about it. The Force Awakens. Yeah, so I guess that was really it for the box office, but there is a bunch of stuff coming to theaters this year. Finally, things that were delayed in some cases from more than a year ago. The Robert Pattinson, The Batman, that'll be March 4th, so that is literally around the corner. That's next weekend. Shortly thereafter, on April 1st, we have the Morbius movie from the MCU Phase 4. Sonic the Hedgehog sequel the week after that, April 8th. Got another Fantastic Beasts movie, which a lot of people probably don't care about, but there's Harry Potter fans everywhere. Doctor Strange, we already talked about, of course, comes out May 6th. Firestarter, we talked about, it's on the 13th. Then Top Gun Maverick, which has been delay after delay after delay. It's now finally going to be out May 27th. I know we all kind of wanted to see that. The new Buzz Lightyear movie will be June 17th with who the hell's voicing him? Is it Chris Pratt? No.
No,
I'm confusing it with
Evans.
Mario Brothers.
Chris
Chris
Evans.
Evans. Yeah, Chris Evans. July 8th is Thor: Love and Thunder. July 29th, Black Adam. October 7th is the animated Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
I can't
October 14th, just before Halloween ends, they're releasing that Just for John. It's the last remaining franchise fan. November 4th
They
is
almost
the
lost me on the last one, but I'm hanging in there.
November 4th is the standalone Flash movie with my mind's fucked today. I want to
Ezra
say
Miller.
I was gonna say Gordon Levitt.
Michael Keaton as Batman, as Thomas Wayne.
Yeah. November 11th, we have Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. December 3 movies. Avatar 2, which I'm actually kind of excited to see. I like the first one a lot. And then the Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom are releasing on the same day, which seems to me like a terrible, awful idea for Aquaman, more so than Avatar. But here we are. And then the very end of the year, right before Christmas, December 21st, Super Mario Brothers animated movie, which I don't get why they're making, to be frank. But they got a bunch of famous people to do voices. They got Chris Pratt doing Mario, which he said he wasn't going to do the accent. So I guess it's just going to be him.
Like, hey, it's me, Mario.
Jack Black voicing Bowser, Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach, and then Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. Okay, I don't know what's going to happen.
Two things. One, what if they do this like a Jumanji remake with The Rock and Kevin Hart, where people are trapped in the bodies of these things in a video game, which would explain not doing the accent.
Right.
That just popped in my head. Two, what I've heard is they've already like started talks on a Donkey Kong spinoff with Seth Rogen, and I'm like, you haven't even like the movie's not. It's not even like it's a half a year away. It's way more than a half a year away. I'm like, holy shit! Can you slow down for 5 seconds? See if it's going to be any good. Drop a trailer. Do something. All right, yeah. So I know I missed half of this shit, but just going back.
Okay.
Let's just focus on DC for a second, because DC dropped a really cool trailer on the Super Bowl that had most of the shit in there, and it had like, the world needs heroes kind of thing, right? It was like just a cluster of all the different movies they got coming out. Are DC / Warner Brothers finally moving in the right direction? Yeah, I don't think so either. The Batman.
So not if you're talking about a coherent universe of where characters interact from different things. So I think what they're going to do is, and we've talked about this a bunch, like there's going to be this now sort of Robert Pattinson Batman universe that I think the director said exists in a different universe than the rest of the DC universe. Like, so this is like Earth 2 Batman.
Now, looking at the trailer, that makes sense, considering what we've seen in the DCU.
Yeah.
However, the trailers kind of got me on board.
The trailer looks good. Black Adam is set along, centuries ago.
Shazam. Right, but it's still alongside Shazam.
It's in that universe.
Yeah.
And then Aquaman 2 is set in sort of what we know as the Justice League universe.
Right.
So it's sort of like and then Suicide Squad in those movies, if they do another one of those, that exists in a world where they reference Superman and others, but they don't all share a space.
You said Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Well, keep watching Peacemaker.
And so they're gonna they all live in sort of it's now like the MCU without the cameos in each other's movies.
Right.
And I don't think they're going to do I don't think they're thinking about a Justice League.
Well, and you're right. And to me, it's sad because, again, like we've had this conversation ad nauseum Where in DC you've got the characters to do that, and you should be doing that, and they've just given up because, like I said earlier, they need a Kevin Feige, but you know they don't have one. They could hire 3 guys that are sitting here doing a podcast that's not going anywhere. We can help you out, but I was kind of hoping they would still at least drop what didn't work and massage the rest of it into it. And I was hoping they would use the Flash movie to kind of do that. But that Flash movie actually, again, outside of the fact that I don't like Ezra Miller as Flash just because I like the CW TV Flash better. To me, he's a better Barry Allen. I don't hate Ezra Miller. So when I watch this movie, if they do something with him, he can grow on me. You know what I mean? Like he's got opportunity to like get me to like him. Just what I've seen of him, there was not a lot, so I just didn't like him compared to the other one. This movie, however, with the fact that you're going to do the Flashpoint, which again I think is way too fast, but okay, well, let's see what you're going to do. The fact that you're bringing back Michael Keaton as the original Batman, yeah, okay, now you kind of got me. So I want to see what they're going to do with it. They could use it to fix everything they fucked up if they did it right. I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're ever going to get it right. And it's sad, but I'm looking forward to that one. Definitely looking forward to Batman and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I like Jason Momoa's version of Aquaman. I do. He's the most interested I've been in Aquaman ever. So, you know, he's got me there. Like I like him, and I know my wife will watch it. So, you know, for obvious reasons. All right, and yeah, then there's Super Mario Brothers. We'll see how that's gonna go. But again, that's everything from the '80s is coming back, and they're making Lego and what. They made a fucking emoji movie. Of course, they were going to make a damn Super Mario Brothers movie. Come on.
Yeah, I haven't seen any. Like, I don't know if there's any ratings for it yet or anything. I don't mean reviews. I mean like what
People are expecting.
No. Like, is it going to be like PG-13 or?
Oh,
because
right,
anytime you put Seth Rogen in something, I feel like it's just automatically R-rated.
Oh yeah, Seth Rogen and Jack Black.
And Jack Black. There was like a promo teaser thing released for this, which I just watched while you guys were talking. At one point, Luigi says, "It's goddamn haunted in here." They're in like a ghost house.
Yeah, Luigi's Haunted Mansion. Okay.
but that's it. There's almost no talk beyond the first like 20 seconds of it. It's just music playing and a bunch of cutscenes, and it shows both 2D Mario and 3D Mario. Like it even has at one point 8-bit Mario, like from the original Mario Brothers from NES.
I haven't seen this.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I just
okay.
hunted for it.
Okay, I gotta find it because I was gonna say like, all right, Chris Pratt. I like Chris Pratt. The fact that he's not doing the Mario voice is weird to me. So we'll figure out what the fuck that is. But the other actors I'm fine with. But Jack Black, I've got like, I wouldn't say a love-hate relationship with him. I've got like a love and a, all right relationship with him. You know, depending on what the movie is. But he's started to grow on me with like the Jumanji movies and a couple other things he's done recently, where I'm like, I forgot how funny he could be with the correct writer. When you say he's gonna be Bowser, I'm like, this could be really fucking funny. Like him voicing Bowser could be really funny. All right, so let's move on to streaming. Unless you guys got anything else on the upcoming movies. Nothing. Good.
I don't.
Bueller. All right, so streaming. I know a lot of times we go in here with the streaming and we drop like oh, this movie is dropping this day, this movie's dropping that day. And there were plenty of movies across streaming that I could have done that with, but I really just, it's 2022 and I'm just fucking tapping out on half of this shit. I'm tapping out on life. I just I don't want to be bothered on half of this shit. There are plenty of movies across the streaming that are in our wheelhouse or just shit I kind of want to watch, like one of them's got Ghoulies from the 80s, right? It's some dumb little puppet monster movie thing that I just liked as a kid. So I'm going to watch that. All kinds of random movies that are popping up. But then we've got what we actually put down on the set list that I wanted to focus on. I was going to say HBO Max, but Eric just deleted the whole fucking thing.
But no, those are just old stuff. Sorry, because
it?
you said you didn't look at that one, so all I did was just go look through what was coming out in March. I mean, it was just they're dropping all the Resident Evil movies up to Retribution on March 1st, and then the Fast and Furious 9 will be on there March 4th. That's the only thing I really saw.
Oh, yeah, and again, like the Resident Evil movies, like I liked them. It wasn't quite what the game was, but I enjoyed them. Did you guys watch Welcome to Raccoon City? When it came out earlier this year.
Oh no.
I watched it. I liked it. It was very if you enjoyed the original game, you're gonna like the movie. It's kind of like that. Like even down to the acting, some of the lines in it were like straight like B movie acting. like it was just like the game. Where I was like, wow, they really they went straight to the source material for this one. So it was good. I liked it enough to see a sequel. All right, so Netflix. We've got He-Man and the Masters of the Universe season 2 comes out on March 3rd. This is not the Kevin Smith Revelations. This is the other one that I think we assumed was more for kids. I haven't watched any of this yet. I've heard decent things about it from some people. I don't know that I'm going to watch it or not. But season 2 is coming out on the 3rd. If you're interested, and you know what, if you've watched it and you think it's better than Revelations, let us know, because I don't know, the animation style just didn't really hit with me, so I was like, I blew right past it. Have you guys even looked at it at all?
No.
Yeah, no. I knew Paul.
Sorry.
One of these times, I'm just gonna watch something tonight. Like next week, gonna be like, did you watch this weird? Yes, I did. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah, just so the next time I say, "Did you watch this?" Paul's gonna be like, "I did." I threw on here the Adam Project, mainly because Ryan Reynolds is in it. That comes out on Netflix on the 11th of March, but from what I gathered from the trailer, it looks like he goes back in time and is interacting with his younger self, and some other random shit is going on there. But it's Ryan Reynolds, it's some kind of time travel shit, so it's at least hitting a couple of things for me that I'm interested in it.
It also has Jennifer Garner, Mark Ruffalo, and Zoe Saldana in it too.
Okay, there you go. And then Paul, did you see the trailer for that yet? No. All right. And then the last thing, just because I was scrolling through online, Transformers is one of the things I love. They've baited me into a whole bunch of bad movies. The newer animated shit that I've watched on Netflix, like The War for Cybertron, has been really good. They're coming out with something called Transformers Bots on March 25th, and I have no idea what the fuck this is going to be. It sounds like Battle of the GoBots from the 80s. I don't know what it's going to be, but we'll see when we get closer, because I have not seen any animation or anything for it at all.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised
you didn't, kids.
I'm surprised you didn't mention DC League of Super Pets at all. It seems to be in this.
Is that coming out on Netflix?
That's coming to theaters.
No, that was going to be in theaters. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm gonna watch that just because Noah wants to watch it. But
Oh, does he?
yeah, oh yeah, of course, yeah. Please, it looks funny and it's animated and it's superheroes and
Kevin Hart
it's
and
got The Rock and Kevin Hart. What's not?
And John Krasinski too.
Yeah. See. All right. So coming to Disney Plus, we have on the 30th, the day before my birthday, Moon Knight episode 1. We've already discussed the trailer. I'm looking forward to this. Anything Marvel, I'm game. Was there anything I missed on Disney Plus that's worth watching? I will say Heather and I watched you remember a few months ago, it was before the holidays, when we took our break. We talked about it was the top whatever of the 80s, and I said there was going to be like some kind of special on Disney Plus with Rob Lowe in it.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, well, maybe we should watch that because we love the 80s. Maybe we'll review it. Heather and I watched it. It's actually a series, and they like each episode they focus on either like movies or gadgets or clothing or different things from the 80s. And if you guys haven't seen it, it's worth watching. And they just go like they do like a top 10 countdown each episode of different things. And it's fun. It's really nostalgic. It's a good time. So watch that. Outside of that, I'm trying to think of any of the other like the specials and shit that they do, like we talked about with like the behind the scenes shit. Is there anything else?
No, there's really nothing coming for March. Nope.
All right. So
I'm looking at the full list. I see they're doing a remake of Cheaper by the Dozen.
Yes.
That's coming out March 18th on Disney Plus.
I did see that. Yay. But yeah, sorry. So we'll hold up for Moon Knight and then I guess Obi-Wan.
Yeah, that's not till May 25th.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do they not release it on May 4th? They're such fuck asses, man.
Right? What day is May 4th? Let's see. Calendar.
Oh, it's Wednesday. That's the same day they're releasing it on the 25th is also a Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's 21 days later.
Disney. Missed opportunity. All right.
They're probably going to drop something amazing on the 4th, and then we'll be like, okay, never mind.
I hope so. But I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, I am looking forward to Moon Knight, but I'm really looking forward to Obi-Wan just because, I mean, it's fucking Obi-Wan. And then you're going to have Hayden Christensen back as Darth Vader. So I want to see what they do with that. It's going to be interesting. All right. Paramount Plus. Not that I really jump on that a whole lot, but I put on Star Trek Picard just for Eric.
I'll watch that. I'm sure no one else will.
Yeah, season 2 drops on March 3rd. And then another thing I didn't think I needed until they announced it. Halo season 1 drops on the 24th of March. I've only seen artwork and maybe like a few quick running shots of this thing. It looks amazing.
Well, there's a promo trailer for it. It actually looks really good.
It looks amazing. I was like, son of a bitch. Like they're really gonna knock it out of the park. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. So Halo season 1 drops on the 24th of March. Paul, any interest in anything so far?
I mean, sure, I'm interested. I'm interested in Spider-Man. I just haven't made it to it yet.
Hey, does anybody know when this is coming out for streaming so that Paul can watch it?
Yeah, it's not
I don't think it's. Yeah,
it's streaming on like Stars at the end of March.
Okay, there you go. And I totally cannot remember at all. Eric, did we actually review it?
what? Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We reviewed it, right? You mean you? Yeah. We kicked Paul off when we reviewed it. I was like, I drew a blank there for a second. I was like, do we have to fucking review it or am I out of my mind? Both.
Yes, just yes.
Yeah, just yes. All right, and then Hulu didn't have a whole lot, but I threw on here because Heather and I enjoyed the first season on March 14th, Young Rock season 2. So if you want to get more involved in the young life of our future president, there you go. You watch Young Rock. The maybe embellished life of Dwayne Johnson. That's that. And then finally on Amazon Prime, which is, I can't believe this is like maybe a week and a half away. They did drop a full trailer for this, so I did not include this, so you guys have to jump on there and watch it. I think I sent it to you in our messages. The Boys Diabolical is an animated series that's coming out, and again, I cannot wait for the return of the boys. So that is definitely something that we have to get on, just like we did Boba Fett, or better than Boba Fett, and review that fucker every week. I cannot wait for this goddamn series to come back. This is going to be the perfect filler between now and I think May, or no, October. I think it's October now. They dropped it back to for the Boys season 4. I think we're going into. But yeah, this animated series looks ridiculously funny. It looks amazing. And something they did that I just read about in the animated series, Huey looks just like he does in the comics, where in the show, I like the actor. He does a great job. He looks nothing like the Huey from the comics because Huey in the comics was modeled after Simon Pegg. In the animated series, Simon Pegg voices Huey. So, yeah, so they kind of gave a little nod to, yeah, okay, this is where our history is. So I'm totally looking forward to this thing. Did you guys see the full trailer for that yet?
Yes.
Yeah. I actually did.
Yeah, it looks funny as shit. I don't know how many of the real life actors are going to get back if they're already like getting like Simon Pegg for Huey or whatever. So they're probably not worried about it at all. It's probably going to be a separate thing, but it's definitely worth a watch. So I want to review that whole series and then jump into The Boys when that drops. All right. And I think that is the last thing on streaming. You guys got anything else for this episode? Nope.
Nope.
Cool. So we will stop it here so that Paul can go fucking watch something. I think you can probably find Ghostbusters Afterlife streaming somewhere, Paul. So maybe all three of us review that next week. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Just saying, it's really fucking good, Paul. Like nostalgia, Paul.
You can rent it right now. It's on Amazon Prime.
See, there you go. Go get it, Paul. It's worth it. I'm telling you right now, it's worth it. It was amazing in the theaters. You're gonna love it, and that's your first homework right there. I want to review that movie, all three of us together. It was worth it. All right. So in that case, everybody, let us know what you think of everything we talked about. Since we were just kind of rambling tonight over a bunch of different bullshit that we found on the internet, and we had nothing to review. Like, subscribe, ring a bell. Tell us what else you want to talk about. If there's something that we're missing that we've not discussed in some of our episodes. And hit us up at whatifgeeks.com, whatifgeeks@gmail.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And we will catch you next week when hopefully we'll review something cool. All right. Good night, Tony.
Good night, Charlie Fox and your Cox.
Good night, Leatherface. Possibly forever.